Hello friends, and welcome to another video. I want to talk about quantity versus quality. Now this is a conversation that in the music licensing industry is always being talked about, that it's better to release quality over quantity. There is truth to that. However, I believe that you cannot get to the quality without the quantity. So by doing more music, you will get better over time. A lot of problems comes from the lack of creation, for the lack of doing the reps, okay? So to speak, we need to create a lot. We need to get rid of all of the bad ideas. We need to just write, show up and write every single morning or every single evening or whenever happens to be the time that you allocate in order to make music. Now, I'm assuming that you have a 9 to 5. I am assuming that you're busy doing other things. And if you are one of the lucky musicians or producers who are doing something with music full time, you can still find the time to make music for stock libraries. I have many clients who happen to be guitar teachers, piano teachers. They are involved with music and they do that as a full-time gig, but they want to supplement their income by selling it on stock libraries. If you're new to this, by the way, download my free guide, link in the description, so you can learn how to earn money selling your music online on stock libraries. But there's a lot of people that actually have a 9 to 5. They work in different places, corporate jobs. I mean, there's so many people I have met from all walks of life, and we all have one thing in common. We want to monetize our music by selling it online. But depending on your lifestyle and depending on how busy you are, you still have to find the time to have a lot of output. You need to increase the volume of how many tracks can you produce on any given point. Now, I have told my story before of how many tracks I will compose when I first got started and how little output I was having. And here I am, or here I was. Back then, I was a stay-at-home dad, and I had all this free time, and yet I cannot finish a track. It was a crazy thing to go through. I have the knowledge, I have the know-how, I have the time. Even though I was a stay-at-home dad, as soon as my daughter was old enough to go to pre-kindergarten or to nursery or whatever, she was like 3 or something like that, 3.5 years old. Then from Monday to Friday, I had all of this time from 8 o'clock in the morning till like 3, that she will come back from the nursery, from the kindergarten. Okay? So I had a lot of time to be by my desk and doing music, and I cannot compose music. I cannot have something finished. So I've been on the other side, my friend, meaning that I have all of this free time from Monday to Friday, and I cannot produce anything. I mean, and I'm using music here because I'm a composer, but I believe if I was a writer, it would be the same thing. If I was, producing anything, doing anything, YouTube videos for that matter, I believe that I will be in the same position. I have all of this free time, and yet I cannot do this. Why? Okay? Because if I have all the time in the world, arguably I will produce more music, but that's not necessarily the case. So the way to overcome this, or the way to actually have more output, and I'm talking about the lack of time here because this is the biggest objection that I get from clients when I'm coaching, that I just don't have the time to make music. I mean, it's easy for you to say, Daniel, because you work from home and you do this from home, right? So you have the ability to have time. But I can tell you right now that my life is 100 times more busy now, because I don't do music anymore as a full-time gig. I do music, I do YouTube videos, I run an online business, which is an educational business based around that, and I run a separate business, which is all based around mindset and running an online business. In conjunction with all of this, I am doing so many things. Now I don't have just one YouTube channel, I have 3 YouTube channels. And this is just because I am a creative person, and I understand that the more time I have on my plate, the more empty time I have on my calendar, the less I am going to be producing of anything. Either it's music, videos, or online courses, or coaching programs, or just creating a brand around what I love to do and all of the things that I like to do. So I make sure that I am as busy as possible all the time. I know this might come across as a workaholic, but I have wasted plenty of time in my youth, meaning that I was just showing up for a 9 to 5, and I've been blessed. Okay, my 9 to 5 was in a recording studio. My 9 to 5 was working in a guitar shop in central London, in Tin Pan Alley, Denmark Street, the most famous guitar street in the world. Well, at least it was back then, but it's a historical place, and those were great years, but it was a 9 to 5. Great years. I met great people. I met all the famous people that were in town. I got free tickets to go and see concerts like Slipknot. I don't want to drop names, but it was a great period in my life. I was just in a guitar shop playing guitar all day. It was a 9 to 5. I can pay the bills. But I didn't have this ambition that I have right now of doing something with my music, because back then I was just looking for a paycheck somehow. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that in another video actually, because I don't want to go to a different tangent. But the truth of the matter is that even if I was working back then, and this is something that I spoke about here on the channel, by the way, if I was still living in London, or back then, I should say better, when I was working in the guitar shop, back then, Pond 5 and Audio Jungle and certain stock libraries were already out there. So I could have been working in the guitar shop and doing this already from back then, okay, 2006, 7, 8, but I didn't, because I was not in a situation of growth. I was not in a situation of looking for things to do with my music. I was just comfortable with where I had and what I was doing. So when I joined royalty-free libraries and I found myself in a foreign country as a stay-at-home dad with all of this free time, it was crazy to me that I could not release music as often as I should have, because I was looking for that quality. I need to produce the perfect track. The reality is that you will never get to the perfect music track if you haven't composed many tracks that are shit, to put it really polite here. So you have to compose every single day. If you have a 9 to 5, you have a day job, or you work on music somehow, you're a gigging musician or a touring artist, or you are somebody that is a guitar teacher, piano teacher, music teacher, I have plenty of those, and you're fully booked because of your teaching gigs, then you still have to find the time to actually compose music and upload it. Now, the upload part is what takes a lot of time, funny enough, but you still need to compose quite a lot of music. So I always set up a deadline for my students, and I say, I give you 1 hour to compose a music track, start to finish, intro, verse, chorus, verse, repeat, ending, whatever. At least the essence of the track, okay? Not fully fledged track, but at least an idea. If you cannot do that in an hour, then it's going to be very hard for you to release a lot of music. Now, in theory, all you need to produce one piece of music from an idea to a finished product for a stock library is 3 hours, 4 hours max from start to finish. Okay? Back in the day, there was no way I was going to be able to do that. And I didn't. I will finish a track maybe once a week, and I will still go back and remix it and retouch it, get in the car and listen to the mix in the car, listening on different speakers. Come on, man. I teach you how to do that in your session, regardless of your space, regardless of what you have, okay? In fact, I have taught people that they don't even have speakers how to mix, and they mix it with their headphones. Perfectly fine, and they're really successful doing stock music, by the way. They're actually earning money. While you're still waiting for the perfect track and waiting for to buy the perfect speakers and have this studio, there's people out there doing it with a laptop or with a tablet. And that's the reality of it, And it's all about how much music tracks can you compose at any given point, and try to work around your limitations. So limitations are key. So time yourself, and if you can't make something out of 1 hour, then you know that you're in deep shit, okay? Again, to put it very politely, because when I started to do this, I realized how much time I was wasting just looking for a kick drum. Like 45 minutes has passed by and I'm still looking for a kick drum or downloading some other samples that might be better. Okay, so this is a big mistake that a lot of composers make, spending too much time looking for samples. So you have to be proactive with the writing. Time yourself 1 hour to do something, whatever it is, but ideally from start to finish, a music track, an idea, a theme. Limitations when it comes down to samples as well. Like always work with the same samples or at least have them ready, okay? Number 3, work with constraints of tracks, meaning how many tracks do you need to see in your session? I mean, that's a big session already. But that's an acoustic guitar track that I'm doing a lot of layers. You don't need this amount of tracks. I mean, you can see that it's taking the whole screen. I know that you probably are a cinematic composer that want to have 300 tracks in your session, and you can't wait until you buy your new computer with all of this power in it so you can compose your masterpiece, but that's just excuses that you tell yourself for not composing music. And I know I might seem like a little bit rough with this messaging, but it's the biggest objections that I hear from composers, even experienced ones. It's like, well, I can't compose a music track in 4 hours or 3 hours. There's no way I'm going to put a timer to my creativity and my inspiration. Well, if you want to become a professional, you must be able to compose a track right now. Like stop this video, time yourself, give yourself an hour, compose a track. Okay, 1 hour. Limit yourself of what samples you're going to use. You know, all you need really is some drums, bass, some strings, piano, guitar. I mean, how many more instruments do you need to compose your masterpiece? How many channels do you need? 30, come on, man. And, you know, you're not Hans Zimmer. And I'm not saying this to be rough on you, okay? But we do not need 300 tracks to compose a cinematic masterpiece. We're not here to do that. There's plenty of cinematic composers doing that, but we're not here doing that. And I have shown some cinematic tracks that, you know, they're not 300 tracks, but then again, that's not something that I will focus on because you're just overcomplicating something. You're actually just making it harder for yourself. The idea is to keep it simple. Simplicity is the key here. So you want to put less resistance between your idea and the track that you want to compose. How many tracks can I compose nowadays? If I fast forward to today, I can compose easily on a day 2 or 3 tracks. Maybe the third one is not finished, but I could easily just spit out 2 or 3 tracks in one day. And that's while I'm doing other things, okay, like YouTube videos and answering to emails and running my business online. Okay? And I'm still here at home, my friend, okay? I still do this from home. I still work from home. I still take care of my kids. Now I have 2 daughters. Back in the day when I got started, I only had 1 kid. I don't call myself a stay-at-home dad anymore because I work with my wife from home. But we're both working from home and we're proactive in raising our kids. You know, I have a teenage daughter and I have a daughter who's going to turn 6 now. So I'm very involved. I'm heavily involved with my kids, you know, in parenting. And it's something that I take a lot of pride in. And my kids don't know anything else about me working like this. Like this is all they know. Okay, but I'm very proactive, and if anything, I'm more busy now than ever before. So I have to really be proactive when it comes down to my time. And I don't have time to search for another kick drum. Who cares? It's a kick drum. Yeah. So I don't have time to buy more sample libraries because it's going to improve my composition. I mean, I love to do all of these things. But is that going to make me a better composer or compose music faster? I don't think so. For me, being efficient with my time and composing a lot of music is the key here. How much more tracks can I have out there? And I have a massive goal that I'm nowhere near that, but I want to have at least 5,000 tracks out there. I don't even have 1,000 yet. Okay? So I feel that I'm nowhere near my goal. I want to have 5,000 tracks in different libraries, 5,000, and I don't even have 1,000 yet. I don't consider that I have enough music out there. How many music tracks can you have before you start earning a full-time income? Well, that depends on many people. I don't remember how many tracks I had when I started to make a full income from this, but you know, it depends. Okay, it could be 300, it could be 200. Some people have only 60 tracks, and they don't compose any more music after that. I don't want to do that. I want to compose music all the time. This is something I will do if I wasn't getting paid anyways. You know, it just happens that I turn this into a business. And there's a reason why I'm doing this on this channel. Don't forget to download my guide, free guide, link in the description if you want to learn more about this, my friend. Anyways, I want to talk more about this in future videos and keep you accountable, because that's what you need. You need someone to keep you accountable in order for you to produce more music, because you already know what to do. You're just in your way of creativity. Anyways, thank you so much for all the love and support. I'll see you in another video, my friend.